Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of SimAirport, where we plan on massively expanding our terminal and our gate count here at Uthris International. Now, what we're going to be doing, you can see some plans laid out here and also some changes from the previous episode. I had to do some expansion so that my airport could accommodate people quicker through security and baggage claim working. Now, you guys suggested building a small hangar. I did so and hooked up a baggage routing system, which takes it straight to the baggage carousel. That really prevents people from hanging around here too long and gets them out the door a lot quicker. We actually have two of these right now, even though really only one is needed currently. Moving on from that, we have the finished cafe. Again, this is a small cafe. It's not really going to provide our people with a huge amount of service. So over here on the right, we have planned for a much larger restaurant area. Plenty of seating, much more counter space, and to get people really in and out and provide a bigger happiness boost. Even though we're sitting at 90+% satisfaction with our customers, that's pretty good. Our airline interest kind of hovers around 70%. I've let it sim out for quite a while. We have $700,000, and that's what we're going to be doing today to expand the airport. We have a current, I believe, status of 7 planes coming into the airport right now. In fact, we have one landing currently. This is a Bombardier CRJ 900A1 going to A1. That's why the A1's there. And this holds 53 people. So we have some small planes still. And in fact, we're just going to add 2 regular terminals. And eventually we'll expand southward, add our very large terminal here at the end, and maybe one more normal one. Now at that point, we'll have to drastically expand the width of everything, but we'll see about doing that here in a moment. First things first, what I want to do is go in and build some new foundational elements here. This is going to be the office space for the COO and the CFO. And these guys will allow us to operate at a much higher capacity through research. And so they're going to have some office space here. The CFO is going to have a slightly larger office, and then the COO is just going to have a nice 3x4. And connecting hallway here. Over here in this dead space, I'm going to go ahead and build it as well. We need a air traffic control tower so that we can actually get more than 10 flights in our schedule. If we have more landing pads or things like that, we're going to need this so that we can actually accommodate their needs and make sure that no one crashes into each other. So we'll kind of plop that down as well. Deliveries are being made currently, and while that stuff is being built, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a little bit of the expanded security. We are now at the full width of the terminal, and we have 2 baggage scanners and 4 metal detectors. I did have some body scanners for a little bit, but they're just so much slower, and I don't think there's any threats yet. So currently, it's just quicker to just get them through the metal detector, and 4 of them seems to be doing the job quite well. We'll see if we need to expand and add another security section when we get down to adding 2 more gates. We don't know yet. These are going to be problems we're going to be solving here later. Let's go ahead and do 5 times normal speed. This plane here can hold 118 people, and the flow is redirected. This used to be the entrance and exit, but since the security had to be expanded, we reroute the people southward through straight to baggage claim, a little restroom in case they want to, right here at the security exit, and then they go back out towards the front. When we expand and add additional ticketing and possibly another security clearance, this is going to be just added on down here. And I kind of want a U-shaped whole airport shape. At least currently that is the plan. There's our ACT tower. It has been constructed, so I can go ahead and get rid of the planning area there. And in fact, we're going to build a little bit of flooring outside to just kind of fill in that space, because I don't want it to just be sitting on grass. I'm going to be adding sidewalk and things to just try and make the pathing outside a little bit more clear. We're also going to go in, build, we are going to demolish some walls like this. And then we will need to build a door. Wow, everyone going through security. It's a little loud over there. Alright, let's grab, I think maybe just a normal double door here. And then we can use blue doors as their proper space once we get some walls built. There we go. And objects again, and door. And door, just like that. From there, we're going to need an office desk. Cool. Office chair. In fact, we're going to cancel that. We're going to move the desk, I think, down a little bit more central into the room for the COO. Or CFO. COO up here is going to be a little bit closer to the wall. I don't think they'll mind. Add maybe a plotted plant in these corners here for looks. Is there any other pretty cool decorative items maybe that we can use? It really doesn't look like it. Nope, not really. Kind of wish we could add a coffee maker. That would be a pretty cool addition to that, but that's okay. So we have some chairs. I don't like the placement of this chair here, so we're going to end up clearing it and just place it above. It's not really well centered, I don't think, onto the desk, which is kind of a shame since they go hand in hand. Yeah, it's a real shame. Not a big fan of that. Let's just move that there or something, and maybe add some vending machines here out in the hallway so they can be serviced. Now our people will probably come back here and use these vending machines, but I'm not too worried about that. It just might look a little weird due to pathing. Okay, we'll also get rid of the planning area so we can see the true color of stuff. And we will build the proper floor. So I'm thinking blue carpeting for the southern office, and then maybe just your standard brown for the other, and some sort of connecting tile floor here. You can see people coming in and out now due to these vending machines, but we'll make some money off of it. It's not going to bother me too much. We need to also, I guess, hire our staff. So here is the CFO. He's $100 an hour. I think we first need to zone out this space. Office and office staff. CFO, just like that, in the COO. Great. Alright, now that we have some time, we can look at some additional research that is opened up to us. Let's go ahead and build. Do we want pricing first? I mean, we're going to get all of these, so it doesn't matter. So let's go straight to pricing and go from there. So the back office area is complete, and from this point we can take a look at building out the terminal a little bit more. So we go into foundations, And I'm building this in a little bit of a special way. You guys might notice me doing this. But I'm trying to build everything a little bit separate. And I want to maintain this exterior wall because that will actually break the security of the area. And that's not something I want to see. So there we go. All the foundation is going to be laid at this point. Now this is a big, massive project. So it's going to be a little weird, but that's okay. We're going to have to adjust our wall once these new walls are built up and remove this old security fence, and that will allow us to place down our new kind of airplane gates. And we have about 130,000 left to do all of this. Let's speed up time so the money keeps flowing through. If you take a look at our utilities, you can see this is the baggage routing station, number 1, and it goes to both baggage claims. Also, we have baggage going from the ticketing desks down here and up here, straight up there, so that the plane doesn't waste time having to wait on baggage being loaded and unloaded. It really increases the efficiency of your airport to have one of those. Let's check our research. Okay, about 20% through. How's our current running costs? Right now, it looks like our expenses are about 11,000. Our flight ops is 27,000, giving us a total of 16,000. Now, there is going to be variance in there, so just go ahead and take off about 10-20% off of that, and that is going to leave us with probably about 14,000 profit, maybe 13,000 if it's a bad day or something. We got passenger rating still at 95%, airline interest at 70%, and conditions worsening at the airport here. All of our staff just running around laying out these resources so that they'll be able to build this structure as quickly as possible. I might want to actually hire 2 more workers just so this gets done. We can fire them later on just to save money because we don't really build at a super fast rate 100% of the time. I enjoy taking my time with these type of games and really kind of enjoying the simulation speed of things. We can also think about continuing our motif of the main terminal area. So this will go all the way down, all the way down. And we are using this as our main tiling. And these restrooms are going to be really nice because we're kind of at maximum capacity at this little restroom here. I don't want to have massive restrooms, and in fact, I'm trying to use some plants here to kind of break up the toilets because they just look really weird not being booths and having walls. Maybe if they were urinals, they would make a little bit more sense, but since they're actually proper sit-down, full-size toilets, it's just really weird looking. That's right, keep building, expand my empire out. We will build and clear this wall here. And get ready to really open up this whole section. We'll go to reports, check out secure areas, making sure our security is still in check, and it is. This is going to drastically increase this green field compared to red, really consuming a lot of that open space. As I go through heat information, we're going to need to add some more information displays down the main terminal corridor. And environment, surprisingly, is looking good. We don't really have many complaints. We have some in the bathrooms every now and then, and maybe a little bit in the lines as people kind of queue up, but that gets cleaned up relatively quickly and really not affecting their happiness too much. In fact, if you take a look at the environment, 90%, cleanliness is 98%. So it's really going to help. Hunger is really our worst case, and bladder. So once those kind of average above 90%, our airport's going to be pretty beautiful at that point. You guys have finished that structure. So we will tell you to clear this wall as well. So when I'm laying these plans out, the planning tool is pretty powerful. I like to use stark contrast in colors so that I can really see where I am laying these plans. I'm using cyan for our wall layout. We're using magenta for the floor space itself, and taxiways for the upper area so that I could get the spacing and everything set. I don't really use white or yellow too often unless it's specifically to take a look at, you know, if there's a bunch of zones next to each other. It's more for that purpose. Let's clear these walls here just to make that bathroom a little bit more open. We can also clear this whole wall area out, and this, really opening up that space, and in here and in here. The security is just getting better and better. Now once this kind of wall corner gets established, we can delete this upper security fence. I could probably hire 1 or 2 more staff members for the construction process. You can see our staff expenses have increased from hiring the COO and the CFO as well. That is a concern, but right now we can handle it. We got plenty of money in the bank, which is good. And we'll be able to resell a lot of these supplies from this major construction. At least I hope. All right, this outer wall area is doing really well. They're going to break down this wall here first. And I'm excited to just see this all planned out with our pillars and little green spaces here so that just the main thoroughfare will look pretty nice in the long run. And it'll be cool to see people going down the center, the full length of the airport into the baggage claim. And I want to stagger the airport arrivals eventually. So we will clear that. We are going to clear this and this. That's already marked. I don't know why I'm doing it again. Here and here. Here and here. Here and here. We're going to need to build a wall in this section because this is going to be the back kitchenette area for the restaurant. That's it. Lay down that floor tile. Looking pretty good. These terminals are also, not terminals, gates are a bit bigger than our first one as well. They'll be able to hopefully have 3 desks for ticketing so that we can get turnaround as accurate and quickly as possible. This gate's actually a little slow. So when I set up the airport and the flight plans for all of them, I really want to make sure we stagger our landings in a good way. All right, planning, clear. And just like that, look at that. That's gonna look so good. Let's take a report at security. All right, we didn't miss a gap or anything. We're gonna go into objects, airplane gate. Rotate it. In fact, I'm gonna rotate it to this space here just so we have a little bit of visual space going through. We're going to also build a door so people can board and exit said plane. Cool. We're going to build also some ticket gate agent desks. I think something like this might be interesting of a shape to do. We're also going to need some additional seating units. We're going to go with a different bench design, I think, than before. So something of this nature will be good. Plenty of seating area for the guests waiting, keeping them comfortable. We will also need a queue line. So we are going to start the queue here. And the people basically wrap all the way around to about yay. This is kind of the temporary setup. All right, assign this to this gate desk here. All right, we're gonna buy some staff. We need some staff to man these gates. Just like that. We will then assign all of these to this initial queue. Now we're probably gonna change the shape of this queue eventually. Something a little bit more streamlined like we have right here. And we might move these desks a little bit as well, just to clean that up. Okay, so that is all set. And from this point, close that out. This airplane gate is now functioning. Let's add the flight displays. Cool. All right. We're going to build and get the spacing of our walls correct. So it's every 8 blocks or so. So let's go down 8. There'll be a wall here and here. Let's go down 8 again. Here and here. Let's go down 8. So here and here. Now the pillars might interact a little bit awkwardly at times with the other doorways, but that's okay. That's not gonna bother me too much. I just want that shadow and some interesting shapes to the overall design here. We'll also get a door built for the restrooms, because I want to expand these as quickly as possible. And we're gonna make this one a little bit opposite from the previous one, and then this one opposite of that one. Ooh, this one's a bit smaller, so we'll have to space it out a little different. But that's okay, because that'll at least keep them interesting. We're going to also build a proper zone for them. Where is restroom? Restroom and restroom. Just like that. We will need to put some restroom tiled floor, which I believe I am using. I kind of wish I could hide the zones, but I believe it is this really small tile set. Alright, you guys just build this stuff up quickly. Didn't really spend much money, which I'm pretty happy about. Alright, so we got those. People are actually coming down the terminal at this point using the restrooms over here. We're probably going to hire 2 more janitors just to keep the place a little bit more clean. Our total profit's slowly dwindling, but we'll add some people to gate A2 soon enough and get that kind of fixed out. Let's expand the floor of the main terminal way. Can that be built outdoors? What? Oh, I guess those walls are considered outdoors. Interesting. That's fine. I can kind of build around it. All the way down. All the way down. And then we will use the standard gate kind of floor color as the others. So that is getting all laid out there. We also need to build some more of these bushes. Boop. Boop. So I guess I should probably go one side at a time, just to make this quick. Blocked by pending construction. I don't really like that, but I can understand why the coders did that. Seems like it would be a hassle to tell it how to overlay orders and things like that. Eventually, this little gap here might be a connecting hallway to the other terminal kind of access point. We'll see. That becomes necessary. All right, let's check out our research. Okay, we have pricing complete, so we might as well just go straight to road building next, because I wouldn't mind getting some roads that run through the airport space so that we can have garbage out of the way of the passenger buses and supply trucks, because that's going to hopefully help us get traffic flowing quickly, because we're going to need a good flow of that to assist these gates to work in tandem. In fact, let's go ahead, go straight into airline interest. Find an airline that really likes us. Starflight looks pretty good. 90%, they really like us. All right, let's do some 707s, because I like the 180s. For these normal gates. So 707, 707. What's the 737? Those are 140s, so that's fine. We can do a night and an afternoon flight with them. They really like our airport. So let's take a look at our schedule here. Whew, okay, so these guys really want to use the airport. So we're going to just stagger these like this, and hopefully it'll work out for us. Let's do that for now, and yeah, I'm liking that. So that's going to be an interesting layout. Our airport is about to get a lot more busy in the next day. So this is a massive expansion progress, and it's going to hopefully pay off in the long run. You guys can let me know what you think down below on how inefficient, I guess, this could be. Let's take a report on info heat maps. So not really super covered, but I mean, real airports don't really have them much closer than that. I don't think it should be. It shouldn't really matter too much. I could think about adding some on the southern half. Let's build some garbage bins, though. I feel like that's going to be kind of important. How about one kind of spaced there? Spaced there. We'll just kind of throw these around. We're going to add some additional maybe vending machines as well. That would be cool to do. Maybe an electronics one there. And we can look into adding some drink ones. I think next episode we'll flesh out this restaurant, make it look real cool, and finish adding this other gate, and possibly expand the airfield itself and get pathing through there. But let's speed ahead so we can see how the airport's going to handle with a constant flow of people coming in and out here at day 119. As you can see, it takes a little while for our airport to make some money, but that's due to my inefficiencies, but also because we started completely blank. So it took a little while for me to build that up and learn the game. You know, this is my first playthrough, and things I think are going relatively well. We're making money. We're up to a total of almost $30,000 in our transaction totals, which is great. That's about double of what we just were doing, and that's still not about 100% capacity. And when we get this third gate up, I'll probably need to add another runway so we can get people in and out a lot more quick. All right, coming to a close. If you take a look at the status for tomorrow, it's a much larger list, and hopefully we can get these people in and out quickly enough. So as this goes through, day 119 is here. Now this cafe is going to explode due to the amount of people, so I hope we can manage it. I might need to add that third gate agent here just so this one can board a little quicker. Now this one's not going to be pushed out and block the next flight coming to this gate. However, it might affect this gate. I mean, it's leaving about an hour and a half late every day. We'll see though. I hope it doesn't. Here is the next influx of people coming through, getting tickets, and hopefully they will get through security quick enough and be happy enough to stay on one side of security and won't have to go through and loop too many times. These additional bathrooms is usually the main reason people loop through, because I want to keep all the services past security so they don't have the tendency to leave the security zone. Wow, all these people showing up. People going down to the right gate. This is the new gate access, gate A2. Boy, when you get multiple gates here, your airport really starts to explode with people. Here's some more people coming over here. We have the baggage car working, which is good. I was a little worried that it might not work. We'll have to see if the baggage works on loading it. It's going to depart in about 30 minutes. We have people leaving the cafe area now, working their ways down into the queue zone and in straight onto the plane. It's going to leave a little late, I think, but we should get everyone in there. One person missed their flight. We're going to have to see about, once this restaurant is built, I think it's going to help them get to the gates a lot quicker. We have a plane landing at the same time as this one taking off, so this is pretty much as close as you're going to cut it here in Airport Sim. We really need to get that other runway up and running next episode. Maybe another baggage car so that they're not taking up the runway spots either. This can get a little risky for us in the long run. Look at all the people in the queue. They're doing it. They're doing a great job. Yeah, if we scoot this all up one, I might be able to get 2 straight lines. I'm not sure if it's more efficient to have one long line or not, because I feel like this one works, but has some problems as well. We might end up needing to double our janitorial staff. Let's go into report. I mean, we just have spots. Just little spots that pop up every now and then. How's that affecting? Needs hunger and bladder, and environment is still really the worst case ones. So that'll just improve over time. Alright, baggage car working. Our baggage claim isn't overly stuffed full of people either, so that's a good sign. This one's boarding. It's going to depart here soon. They're almost fully loaded. Off they go. Let's take a status here. En route. This guy is departing. Alright. Final approach for another guy, and then about... We have a little bit of a gap in our schedule, so that's actually going to give us some breathing room, which will be good, because we're going to need it. But it doesn't look like any of these missed any problems. So we're just having a good turnover. This gate itself is just slowly turning into the Starflight gate, and it would be almost pretty cool to have a gate for each airline in the long run as well. Anyways, I think what we're gonna do is call the episode here. I'm gonna let the sim run again between, so that we have enough money to go in and expand yet again and increase our money flow so that we can just keep rapidly increasing. Right now my FPS is still pretty good. You know, the new computer is doing really well with this game, and hopefully as we expand the FPS doesn't crash. We'll see about that though. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this episode, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment down below on how much you probably hate my design and could do it better yourself. Also, I'll see you guys in the next episode.